Hey everybody, welcome to Star Path Conversations, where I talk about the different astrology transits, how they could be affecting us, and what's kind of the vibe of the current times. My name is Kara, and if you're ever interested in booking a reading with me, getting more information and going deeper into your own personal chart, you can book with me at starpathbykara.com. I also have a newsletter that goes out that helps kind of crack down on these transits, and that goes out every week. So if you head to my website, you can also sign up for that as well. So this last week of January has kind of the energy of excitement, kind of like that little, the first signs of the plot twist that we really thought that we were moving into in 2025 that hasn't quite really showed up yet, as far as just like real shakeups. And this week, I think we're really going to get a taste of it. On the 27th, we have Mercury moving into Aquarius. And this is like a very big shift from having Mercury in Capricorn, because that Mercury in Capricorn was, working with Mars retrograde in Cancer. And that, in my opinion, it just kind of felt like just very very hard to work with. Kind of like, you have all this stuff to do, but feeling like the motivator, just whatever propels you and gets you going, it just was like turned off, like kind of hard to, get things going and to execute. But Mercury in Aquarius is just a little bit more, it's very innovative. It's outside the box. It is, it's kind of like little pulses of information and breakthrough. You don't have to do everything by the book, and it almost feels like being able to just kind of like roll with things is going to be a lot easier to do than trying to do things in a real like step-by-step Capricornian type of way. So that is on the 27th, Mercury moving into Mercury moving into Aquarius. And then on the 29th is Wednesday, we will have the Lunar New Year of the snake. And so this gets us more emphasizing that transformation, shedding, morphing. So it's like, we're really getting that into that energy. And we will also have a new moon in Aquarius the same day at 9 degrees. What I think is incredibly interesting about this is the last 3 new moons were at 9 degrees. So we had Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and now Aquarius new moon at 9 degrees. We will also have the Pisces new moon and the Aries new moon all at 9 degrees. And I do pay attention to the Sabian symbols. So I'm really enjoying this book by Dr. Mark Edmund Jones. And they go into the different meanings of each degree. So I'm going to read you the Sabian symbol for this Aquarius new moon. It is a popularity that proves ephemeral. This is a symbol of the eternal challenge which comes to an individual at every point of climax in his experience, and the swing of the pendulum between an endorsement and a repudiation of his efforts by his social group. He must learn to accept the applause as encouragement in his self-strengthening, but to look for any continued sustainment from his own stability of being. A courageous self-confidence and an unflagging faith are worthy of recognition, but only in their moment of significance. The key word is approbation. And approbation is really just like praise or approval. So consider this Sabian symbol as we move into the energy of this new moon. And just, you'll want to see where you have Aquarius in your own chart. That'll be really important because, this is where we're really getting this kind of initiation, I would say, into this major Pluto in Aquarius transit, which is going on for the next 20 years. And the other really interesting thing about the 29th is Mercury and Pluto are also conjunct. So they are really magnifying this feeling of hidden information coming to the surface. This is like a possible breakthrough. Topics around this could include AI, space, tech, the collective, humanitarian things. So we could really be getting, really depending on where Aquarius is in your chart, you could be really having some kind of breakthrough here or like a discovery. I almost think of like Mercury and Pluto being together as like forensic information, like you've taken a real deep dive and pulled out something, that might have been really hard to find or buried. So, just keep that in mind. And then on the world stage, it's like so possible that we will be getting, just some kind of like big reveal or mini reveals on a lot of things. So, watch out for that. Another interesting thing about this week is Uranus will be going direct in Taurus on the 30th. And Uranus in Taurus is just like, we've had this transit going on since 2018. And I must say, I am really looking forward to the change when Uranus goes into Gemini in July, because Uranus in Taurus has just been like, I think of it as like, okay, so Taurus is an earth sign and, we want to plant seeds. We want to nurture, cultivate, grow things. But with Uranian energy there, it's almost like every time we get the field planted, the crops are good, it's like the lightning comes and strikes. So, sometimes this can be really good. Uranus isn't necessarily a bad planet or has bad energy. It's just like, I have personally found it to be pretty challenging in Taurus. So anyway, Uranus going direct in Taurus on the 30th. This is like, kind of like the momentum kind of coming back to this Uranian transit. And, I can see this being possible, like maybe stock market, crypto, housing, just some kind of like shakeup or just kind of, it's tricky to predict Uranian transits because it is the wild card. So these are the kind of areas that I would just keep my eye on, for just possible, WTF kind of a situation. This could also be the food supply. I live in Southern California and there has been so much information and messages about food recalls, but I did notice that it did kind of quiet down. There was a time where I checked the little news thing that comes up in the corner of my computer, and every once in a while I'll click on it. And for the longest time, especially in 2024, it was just always like, cucumbers are being recalled, eggs are being recalled, all this stuff. And it was just like, I remember just like kind of walking through the grocery store being like, oh, I don't know. Like, I just felt like an uncertainty there. And now that I think back, I haven't really been seeing tons of those messages lately. So you never know, like maybe we'll get some kind of information, like why was there so much food recall last year? That's very possible that we could revisit that. And okay, so after this new moon in Aquarius, we come into this like we've been in this energy, but it's like really magnified. We have the North Node, Neptune, Saturn, Venus, and then we will also have the moon all in Pisces for this moment of time. This is like, I mean, how do you explain this? This is just that dreamy, mystical, just kind of like unreal type of feeling where, you know, it's like things may be kind of challenging right now, but in some kind of weird way, like nothing actually feels real. I've been noticing that a lot. And I do think like it has been hard to kind of force yourself to do things like, you know, that you're in resistance to. And a lot of that is Mars retrograde. But there's this other part of things where it's like, it's just so unreal and dreamlike. And that is due to all of this energy in Pisces. So this is like very possible that we are receiving a lot of divine downloads, intuitive messages, guidance that is coming from like such a different place than we've been getting it before. It really feels to me that we are able to really tune in to our higher selves. So anytime that we allow for meditation, spiritual practice, it just feels like this has so much more to offer us right now. And having the moon there too at the end of the week, it's like, wow, this is so much powerful, intuitive guidance. So it's almost like I look at this as like the anesthesia for like anything that could actually come up and possibly be disruptive with all this like Aquarius, Uranus, you know, shakeups, breakthroughs, you know, just getting this information that might kind of like blindside us a little bit or surprise us, right? So it's like we can really lean into the Pisces North Node, which is really asking us to kind of let go and let God, to trust the process, to you know, like we don't really need all the details in order to go forward. We're really going off of vibes and just the way things make us feel. It's like having just an innate, deep, intuitive sense that you're on the right track. So just, you know, really tune in, give yourself a chance to connect and do things that help you, you know, clear out any kind of unnecessary chatter and just, you know, give yourself a chance to connect to your higher self. And so speaking of connection and guidance, I thought I would pull a card just to kind of wrap things up. This is a really fantastic deck. It's called Star Codes Astro Oracle by Heather Roan Robbins. And I just absolutely love this deck. I like to wrap up all my readings with one of these because, you know, of all the transits and all of the different things that we have to process, it's kind of like, well, what's the most important thing that you can take away from this and just kind of focus on and put your energy into? So I'm just shuffling, and sometimes this takes a while, so I'm not going to force it. I'm just kind of, you know, just allowing the card to come out, whatever is of the highest value for us to focus our attention on. And, you know, that's another really good word for this time period is like being in allowance, where we can receive, because it's really not the time to push forward. Okay, what do we have here? Interesting. I pulled the card Virgo. And when I think of Virgo, and it's so funny because I did pull this card recently too. So Virgo is where we have the South Node right now. And if you've heard me go on and on about the nodes, Virgo is this is the area that we're not emphasizing. This is the vibe that we are transmuting. And so think about Virgo qualities. It is analytical, detail-oriented, very organized. There's almost like there's a real tradition there too. And so, you know, when you're getting yourself through this week and this energy, you might be having a stronger inclination to want to tap into the Virgo analytical dissection of the events that occur. And what the card is telling me is that is where you'll be able to catch yourself and make the turn. So it won't necessarily be like, oh wow, I'm so free flowing and just trusting. Like that might actually not be coming natural. That might be hard. So when you do hear that Virgo chatter, that critical, analytical voice, just know that this is your guidance that it's time to lean into trust. So when you find yourself needing more details and more information, just use it as an opportunity to lean into your intuition and let your higher self guide you through. I hope that this was useful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And if you are ever interested in a personal reading, you can find me at starpathbykara.com. Have a great week, everybody.